Hello and welcome to episode 3, part 1 of And This Is My Anime, a show where I become an active member of my own life and take authority of what I want to do and where I move on from. In the same vein that you would see as an anime protagonist, is where I got this concept from. Watch the other episodes, you'll get it. Um, in this episode, I want to talk about how my experience in going to the gym. This episode's going to be a little bit weird as I've already gone to the gym for quite some time now. But I wanted to definitely put this idea out as I feel it can actually help a lot of people just conceptualize going to the gym. On that note, to start off, I am a rather skinny guy. I was like on the low end of healthy weight, so I was like just at the cusp of being considered drastically underweight. Which mostly because I sat inside, played video games, and didn't want to waste time eating because I wouldn't be a real gamer then. And yeah, that's just a whole nother topic. But so yeah, I've always been a skinnier dude. Never really worried too much about physical health, which you realize later in life changes things. Um, and so a while back, I was out of a job for the first time since I was 16. I was very much, I guess the word would be isolated. I didn't talk to many people. I didn't have any friends. I didn't want to go outside. And that kind of just spiraled itself into enclosing myself from the rest of the world and general not fun. Not a good place at all. And I can honestly say that I think a lot of other people who may listen to this podcast could find themselves in the same shoes of just kind of getting stuck in your own head because you're not experiencing the world because video games. I don't know. Not to say that there's like a problem with video games inherently. That's just a totally different topic again. But uh, long story short, I realized that at the university I'm at, they give free membership to the gym, like the campus gym, just for being a student. And I figured, you know what? I do nothing with my life. I don't talk to anybody. I literally just sit around and waste time. I actually like sit on my bed and just flick through my phone every now and then. And when you've opened like YouTube for the goddamn 30th time in an hour, waiting for a video to upload, and there's still no video, you kind of got to look at yourself and reevaluate what you're doing, because life is short. And so from there, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna go to the gym and start doing this. And thus, this episode began. My preconceptions of what this would become was actually a mixed bag. It largely stemmed off of the basis of stuff like American media, where like everybody in the gym's an asshole, and like I was expecting really to like feel pitiful, like think that everybody around me looks way better, think that everybody around me knows what they're doing, think that everybody around me is making fun of me, whatever. Just like I basically thought that if I went to the gym, I would look and feel like shit and hate myself for it. And so it wasn't a fun band-aid to peel off. And even beyond that, I knew that I had, in high school I had taken like gym class, and like there were some basic like weights there. There was some like resistance bands, like go run and shit. The simple stuff. And so from there, I figured I can probably get by. Maybe I'll go in one day and run a little bit, and then do bicep curls. I know how to do that. That's not too difficult. I also thought to myself, I'll stick to machines once I go. That'll be pretty easy, probably. And I'll get some new Bluetooth headphones so I don't have to talk to anybody. And these are all the preconceptions I made going in. And I figured, you know what? I'll probably only go for a week. I'll probably hate it. And I'll probably never do it again. Well, until I come back in another year and I say, what am I doing? And then don't do it again. Like I done 3 years ago, I want to say. It was after high school, but before now. So, that's accurate. And so yeah, that's my idea is, as far as part 1 is concerned, of just, long story short, I'm going to go to the gym, I'm going to hate myself and feel very awkward and feel like everyone around me hates me. And that's what happens when you're in a negative mental state. So I will leave this off as the beginning of part 1. And for the sake of this series' part system, that could have been phrased better, but whatever. I'm going to cut this clip here, and then we'll be back in part 2 momentarily. Hello, and welcome back to episode 3, part 2 of And This Is My Anime. I'm going to give a quick play-by-play of... Actually, I'm not play-by-play. I'm going to super cut that down to about a 30-second period of everything that's gone down in the past 2 months, give or take. So as I had talked about a lot before, I was terrified that everybody would be making fun of me verbally or like hush hush, whispering to the side, so on and so forth. The general like expectation of awkward weird guy in the gym. But thankfully I was horrendously wrong about all of that. Everybody that is in the gym is comically enough, and like there's a bro dude here and there, generic Chad looking guy, but for the most part most people are just regular people in the gym, and just like you, they want to get in, do their workout, and not talk to a goddamn person there. It's pretty great. And so my general concept when I first went into the gym is I'm like, okay, I'll just do a couple quick exercises that I know. Like I said before, I was like, okay, I'll do bicep curls, hit some machines, and then get out as soon as possible. And that's what I did. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm going to just stick to this every other day schedule, see how it goes. And went in 2 days later, did my thing, and same situation as before, rocking the headphones, just squaring in on paying attention only to myself, which is something I really want to talk about in a moment. But yeah, when you're focusing on yourself, you keep going, and then you get your workout done. I always feel like unless you're sweating like a pig, it's not a proper workout, so I stay until I feel like I'm about to die, and that was a good time to check out. And then I leave, come back, and then, long story short, that eventually evolved into me like, oh, how about the first day I'll do arms, second day I'll do shoulders and back, next day I'll do legs, and kind of just work through that cycle. And that ended up being a very much perfect setup for me. I realized that it focuses in on all the things that I've been... Actually, we gotta back up again. I never wanted to go to the gym for like... I didn't want to be like super lifter boy. To be frank, I had like this mental vision of like, I want to have the body of an anime guy. Because every anime guy is like pretty damn skinny. And I'm talking protagonist here, not like side character shit. every main character in an anime is basically skinny dude that somehow magically has a six pack and like notable arms. I didn't want anything fancy. Uh, also, coming off of smoking for 6 years, I didn't have great lungs, so I wanted to change that as well. So I'm like, okay, I just want to work on lungs, and I want to work on the vanity side of exercise, as well as just like being outside of my house and being around people. And so from that, I worked on just those concepts, and that mentality got me to keep coming back to the gym and over again working out, and it felt fantastic. It's really something that you can't express well, um, just how much I've shifted mentally as far as positivity. Because going into it, I was at a personally just hated my life, hated everything. And then now I look in the mirror and I'm like, damn, I'm kind of cute in a weird sort of way. And like, a month ain't fucking making me over by any means, but it definitely gave me the confidence to be able to look at myself and be like, I'm not a walking piece of garbage. I feel like I have some sort of self worth. And for me, that was one of the biggest changes in mentality, and I'll probably say the past 5 years of my life. Like that's never been a reality for me, and like the fact that I can say differently now is phenomenal. And seeing all these like ideas of like, but if I lean this way, then it kind of looks like I'm getting there. And fun fact, a lot of fit bodies is mostly just like lighting and angles and shit like that. So don't sweat that kind of stuff too much. Um, but yeah, the big key thing to take away from this is that everything I did, it was nothing too crazy. It was nothing too exciting. I just wanted to go in and focus on myself. It working out allowed me to be selfish as hell in one of the weirdest ways possible, because it's selfish in the sense that you're making yourself better. You're not focusing on like, oh, I want this for me so somebody else can't have it, or I want this for me because I deserve it, or something like that. You literally just go in, and it's an idea of kicking the shit out of yourself until you come out slightly better next time. And it's a weirdly satisfying feeling of just like beating yourself down and then coming out as an evolved, better person. And I think that's something that's excellent for anybody to take away, because most people need to be a better person. That's just a fact. There's a lot of shitty people in the world. And then, especially if you were to think about yourself, like right now, let's just take a moment. Think about yourself from 3 years ago. What were you doing? What was the notable thing that happened in your life in 2016? Damn world. Damn. Alright, yeah, what happened in your life in 2016? Do you remember any of it? Was it a worthwhile situation that you were in? Or was it just as forgettable as last week? Or was it just as forgettable as any other day? I want to be able to look at myself and find my own self value and self improvement and be like, this is the day that I became something. This is the day that I did anything with my life besides sit in my room and shut myself out from the world and just talk to myself. I want to be able to look at myself now and be happy with everything that I've accomplished. I want to be in a year from now or whatever, be like, yeah, I can lift my fucking body weight plus some. What about you? I want to have that self pride of, well, not so much the what about you, but like I want to be able to just do that type of stuff where it's a lot, and it's for a normal human being slightly above what the average is. And I guess that's the most exciting thing to me. Is my entire life I've considered myself very much average, but it's an opportunity to make myself something more. And that mentality has actually spread just throughout my life now, where I'm like, oh, now I want to be above. Like, recently I took up for the show, I took up drawing because, like, I've always wanted to draw, I've always wanted to have a creative passion. Um, this is something that fits the bill. So fuck it, let's go for it. And is it good? No. But now the drawing I'm posting with this video is like 2 weeks old, but I can already like definitively see where I'm getting better at drawing. Like I can see the improvement quite literally because art, quote unquote, drawing sketches, however you want to call it. But it just feels good. It feels good bringing that mentality of self improvement and being better along in your life. So, yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say here is going to the gym, people aren't going to give you shit because nobody gives a shit because everybody is just selfish at a gym, and that's wonderful. Really twisted way now that I'm hearing those words out loud. But I guess the important thing is that, like, nobody there is going to mess with anybody because it's not the place to do it. Nobody there is going to try and bring people down. The only time that I've ever spoken to people is, are you using that? Or is that, what does that exercise help? Which, by the way, people watching in a gym is phenomenal because sometimes it's very funny, but more importantly, it's one of those things that you can, like, oh, I can work out this way because that helps this thing and it makes me a better person. You can kind of leech off of what other people do and learn for yourself. Also, I would recommend like looking up YouTube videos and stuff like that just to get a concept of what's going on. But it's one of those things that it's social and beneficial and in a sad way wonderful. Like, I don't know. I wish I could put any kind of downside to it outside of the cost. Because I do get that a lot of gyms are too damn expensive, which that's fair. But just exercise. Granted, if you can't afford it, like, go to a park. Unless you're in like fucking Antarctica, go to a park, go outside, and then do a physical thing. I try to aim for an hour of exercise just because that way I'm like, yep, I did my socializing for my hour, and now I have work and stuff, so like that actually fits in timing wise quite well. But yeah, it's great. I don't know. Go to the gym. And I guess the other thing that the perhaps the biggest thing that I've gleaned from all of this is that you really start to realize how much work goes into everything. Like, you don't realize just how much work it takes to look the way some like actors and actresses do. You don't realize just how much work goes into painting, which I feel like it's very easy to be like, oh, it's just a Chad that goes to the gym all the time. That can't be that hard. You just got to do it. But that's the thing, is just doing it. That's the hard part that I think all of us forget. And it's entirely what this podcast is all about. It's just going out and doing it, because being a lazy shit doesn't get you very far. So, in addition to motivating you, I am slightly insulting you. In short, consider me your tsundere anime girl. Yeah, I'll take that as a quote. But I normally like to end these by saying, I'm pretty happy I did this, or like, this is a pretty good thing, but like, frankly, this is one of those episodes where I can't stress enough that if you have any ability to do, like, to go to a gym or to exercise at all outside of your own damn house, do it. It's opened my mind in so many ways for the better that I feel like it's just should be required. I don't know. It helps. Just give it a week at least. And also, this is gonna be like the biggest asterisk in the world. buy a pair of headphones and make a dope playlist. Because, like, it's just, okay, hold on. So, like, cut to, like, any shonen anime, and there's always the one scene where it's like a badass battle, and then they either play the intro or some phenomenal rock, so like just rock track over the top of it, and then it becomes infinitely more badass. That is what working out with music is. It feels so cool for no fucking like any sports anime. Most sports in reality are kind of boring to me, but if you were to add some like Kuroko no Basuke music, that's some pretty tight sports. And it's the same for working out. So trust me on that part too. And yeah, go work out. Because I am Daroth. And this is my anime. Now, thank you so much for listening. A few side notes on that. A, fun fact, some workouts from anime are actually reasonable to pay attention to. Like Hajime no Ippo, a lot of that shit's practical. Like the punchy with wrist or oh god, I can't think of the word now, which makes it kind of awkward. Basically, like if you were to punch with a resistance band, that's what I'm thinking of. That's actually a great shoulder exercise, so I would highly recommend it. And stuff like that is pretty useful. Obviously, weird shit like some crazy stretching stuff, I don't know if I can recommend to you, or if things are like, yeah, just jump in a hyperbolic time chamber and do 1,000 push-ups with one finger. No, don't do that, because it A is impossible, because hyperbolic time chambers don't exist. But also, that's a lot of weight for one finger. I wouldn't do that. I don't know. Just something to keep in mind if you have been watching sports anime or like the shonen stuff, because some of that's worth taking into consideration. But more importantly, like I said earlier, watch YouTube videos. They can be very helpful. The other thing I wanted to mention is I would really like to start drawing, like having a topic for the drawings. So like, as much as I enjoy doing random whatever comes to mind on like variants of MC Kun for the YouTube videos / the ending thumbnail for SoundCloud, I think it'd be cool if we had like a directed image. So if anyone in either comment section wants to talk about just like next week I want to see an anime girl, I don't know, or like a dragon or whatever the shit, go ahead and post that in the comment. I really would like to start having like an end goal for that, because I think it could be very exciting, and it could be cool if everybody else follows along, because I'll probably just like that comment on YouTube or SoundCloud, or if I get it on like YouTube, I'll post a comment on SoundCloud so that way people can see. Yeah. But yeah, I think that could be very exciting. So please post things. It could be cool. Finally, next week we are having part 1 and 2 of, well, it's always going to be part 1 and 2 because that's an episode. We're going to have episode 4 of And This Is My Anime, featuring a great streamer called Hockey Smash, also known as Logan, which is a lot more fun. But in short, he wants to make a game. And so by this time, 2 weeks, I think I'm doing the show bi-weekly. That seems to make the most sense. This time, 2 weeks from now, he will be on here. He will be talking about Pokemans. Or, not, well, yes, Pokemon. He's making a game about Pokemon. I know that much. I don't know much more than that. So, thank you guys so much for listening, and I will talk to you next time.